Okay, so I'm back with another story time. This is my personal story time, and it's a scary story time. Well, I guess you could call it scary. But I recorded this video like 6 times on my phone. And for some reason, it's just not recording it. Like when I finish doing the whole video, it's just disappearing. So I'm going to record it on my iPad. It's the day of my grandma's funeral. I was like 7, 8, or 9. I don't know which number. I just know I was between those ages. So, we in the city at my grandma from my mother's side of the family now. Right? We at her house. And my parents asked me if I wanted to go to my grandma's funeral. She was my dad's mom. So, I'm like, at that age, I didn't really like funerals like that, so I didn't want to go because I just didn't like funerals like that. Plus, it was just like I was in a good mood. You know, I was a kid, I was playing, and then I didn't want to go and be sad for the rest of the day. So my parents was like, okay, cool. We're not going to force you to come. So they go. I'm not sure if they brought all my other siblings because they was way younger than me. But fast forward to like 7, 8 at night, right? So now we at my grandmother that passed away's apartment. Everybody is there. When I tell you everybody, I mean everybody, even family members that I probably never even met before. It's so many of us in the house that like not all of us could sit, but we're all in the living room. Some of us are standing, some of us are like kind of in the living room but kind of in the kitchen because it's right beside each other. But yeah, so we all chilling, we talking about my grandmother. And everybody's talking about, like, you know, the stuff that they loved about her. Also, the stuff that they didn't understand why she did or why she said or anything like that. Like, everybody's sharing a memory they had with her, talking about the bittersweet moments. Now, there's a phone that's in the living room, and then she had her own phone in her room. And her room wasn't too far from the living room. Like, you could see if somebody went in her room. Nobody was in her room. Like I said, everybody was in the living room. So in the middle of us talking, we get interrupted by a call. And the call is coming from the phone in her room. So everybody's just looking at the phone for like a good 5 seconds quietly. Like whoever was talking just stopped talking. And my dad does not like stuff like that. So he's just looking at the phone and he's telling everybody do not answer it. But, you know, my mom being the complete opposite of him, curiosity girl, she over here like, yeah, answer the phone. So, and then me being the age I was, wanting to always play fucking scary games, I'm over here like, yeah, like, answer the phone. We answer the phone, and when we answer the phone, all you can hear is air, because it's like one of those old-fashioned Hispanic people phones. Well, yeah, so, if you know, you know. Okay, don't take that personal. But, yeah, so, you don't hear talking, you don't hear whispering, you don't hear breathing, you don't hear movement, you don't hear nothing, you just hear the air. So, we on the phone for like a good minute, like 60 seconds. We on the phone and we didn't hang up because my aunt had placed the phone onto the table. The phone hangs up by itself. So that means whoever was on the other line hung up the phone. But I personally think that was my grandmother calling us because, like I said, we was talking about her. We was talking about good things and bad things. But like we laughing at it and shit. And she called like, y'all in my motherfucking house talking about me. I'm still here. Like, so yeah, that's my little scary story time. My mom though, she has scary stories for days. Like, her scary stories is some shit that should be in a movie. But if y'all want those two, just let me know.
This glitch in the Matrix story, 3 people can attest to. Creepy story time. This woman says that her mother always did all her GYN appointments with a specific doctor in downtown Austin. He was located on the 5th floor of this hospital building, and he had a long-term nurse/receptionist named Allison. She says she remembers always attending with her mother when she was little, and her mom would make fun little games out of it. They'd play games during finding the office and also being in the waiting room. She also remembers it being colorfully decorated with a forest scene on the walls. She said Allison was a really sweet woman too, and she always acted half like a babysitter during their visits. She remembers that when her and her brother were there, Allison would read them books, color with them, and even endure their horrible knock-knock jokes. They even had a little nickname for her. They called her Alice in Wonderland. So years down the road now, she is married and pregnant with a child, and she was starting to look around for an OB. So since she recently moved back to the Austin area, her mother suggested to go to that hospital and look for that doctor that she had when she was born. He was in his early 30s at the time, and just see if he's still in business. So first she looks online, and she could not find this doctor's name anywhere in the hospital's directory. So she decides she's just going to swing by the office and check there. And her mother decided that she'd go with. During the trip there, they were reminiscing and joking about old times and how funny it is now that roles are reversed, and she's now coming as the patient, and her mother's coming along for the ride. So as they get to the building, they realize there's a big problem. There is no 5th floor in this building. Odd, they thought, but maybe they both misremembered it. At least they knew it was on the very top floor. So it must just be the 4th floor. But nope, wrong, not there. They entertained the idea that maybe they were in the wrong building, but it could not be because they even parked in the exact same area in the exact same parking garage that they did years ago. And they walked that same familiar route, but that doctor did not exist at that hospital. And apparently, he never existed at all. She says her mother and brother are the only ones that remember him and Alice in Wonderland. They said they have asked around everywhere, including a lot of the hospital staff, and nobody remembers either of these two. They even went and looked at their birth certificates, which were new copies, and it just said attending physician on them. So she says, what, one of my childhood memories is fake, but it's remembered vividly by my brother and my mother. I love those kinds of stories. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you have your own creepy story time, I would love to hear it. Please share it with me using the email in my bio.
Okay, y'all, so I have a spooky story to tell, and hopefully by the end of the story, when I show you guys the proof, someone can explain it to me and think that I'm not crazy, because sometimes I feel crazy, and I've only told a handful of people this story, and it's kind of long, so bear with me. So in order to give you the full details of the story and like how it happened and when it started to happen, I need to go back to the summer of 2019 when I was with my ex. So summer of 2019, I'm with my ex. We're out celebrating my birthday at this kind of like active facility. You can climb up in the ceiling, you can throw axes, you can get inside hamster balls, go karting, all that stuff. Very active situation. At the time, my ex, he was an avid smoker, would drink energy drinks galore, and it was just a super unhealthy lifestyle. We would argue about it all the time because I literally would tell him, like, if you keep this lifestyle up, you will have a heart attack. And lo and behold, while we're out celebrating my birthday, homeboy literally has a heart attack. Again, I'm gonna try to be fast with the story, so I will leave some details out. So essentially, we're out celebrating my birthday. He has a heart attack. We know he's having a heart attack because my cousin that's with me at the time, she is literally she works in the medical field, and that's what she works with, okay? So she's like, he's definitely having a heart attack. We need to call 911. We call 911. Paramedics show up. They're like, we're pretty sure he's having a heart attack, but they seem fine. He seems fine. Everybody seems fine. Like, they gave him some medication. They're like, he's chilling. He's chilling. So we're all chilling. We go to the hospital. I'm like, low-key, like, I'm an anxious person, so I'm like literally like anxious, and I'm up right in with the paramedics. They're like, everything's fine. I'm like, is it though? Because I don't feel like it's fine. I'm honestly panicking. Just like a weird situation to be in. We get to the hospital. They put us in the room. The doctors are chill. Everybody seems chill. Like, my ex is literally joking with me at the time. Like, I remember he's literally joking about something. Is like looking at me. I start like kind of laughing because I'm like, oh, haha, like everything's fine. Everybody seems fine. Everything was not fine. Literally, my ex, I just see him after he's like joking about something. His eyes roll in the back of his head. Literally, like, all of a sudden you hear the machines going off like you do in like Grey's Anatomy or like any of these medical shows where like someone's coding, and then they start like doing like code blue over the speakers, and literally they're like whisking me out of the room like trying to get me out of the room. And I'm like, what's going on? This lady's like, everything's fine. But then they bring me a priest into the room with me to like read like last rites or whatever. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't even know what's happening right now. So while this all's happening, the doctor comes in the room with some nurses and they're like, listen, like, this is what happened. Like, we almost couldn't revive him. Like, it literally took us a long time. Like, we hit him with paddles after paddle. Like, he was not like coming up. We had to do some like, I don't even know, like, it was like medical jargon that I don't even understand, but I remember a beta blocker. Like, that's all I remember. But they did something and it like brought him back, and they're literally like, we have to take him to surgery right now because, like, you know, it's like not looking the greatest. So I'm over here like, okay. Long story short, he makes it through surgery. Everything's fine. But, you know, when he wakes up, we do talk about like how he did die and like what he saw when he died. And he like is explaining to me like what he saw. He literally said that he was like, felt like he was being pulled super strongly from his body, like from the earth into space, like saw stars, all that stuff. He saw like 3 people that he recognized, and then one person like that was like kind of like a shadow figure behind these 3 people that he saw. But like right before he could make out who it was, who this shadow figure was, he was pulled back into his body, and then that's whenever he woke up. So he never saw the shadow figure. And I would like to say that's the end of the story, but it's not, because literally right after this heart attack is like when all the weird spooky stuff started happening, and I literally cannot explain it. So he comes back from the hospital, and I literally start noticing whenever he's like back at the house that like there's little weird things that I'm seeing. And like, honestly, like, I don't know if he experienced them like too, and he just like refused to like believe it or whatever, because he definitely is like a skeptic. But like, I literally saw, like, I would see like blue orbs all the time. I'm pretty sure I have a video of that. If I can find it, I'll post it. But I would see like blue orbs all the time. I would literally hear voices in the house, and it wasn't just me, it was the dogs too. There was one time we were asleep in bed, and at the time when we were together, we had 3 German Shepherds. They would all sleep in the bed with us. I vividly remember this day because it has spooked me to my core. So one day we're asleep in the bed with the 3 German Shepherds. It was probably like 3 in the morning, maybe 4 in the morning. Cannot remember. I literally hear first a man's voice, like clear as day, in the room with me. I'm literally like, what? And I also hear a woman's voice. So right after I hear the woman's voice, because the woman's voice was way louder than the male's voice, I literally like just like rose up like a zombie from the bed. Like, what was that? I'm thinking like, could this be a dream? I'm not sure if this is a dream or not. Like, what did I just hear? I noticed that when I'm like awake, the dogs also are like alert. Like before I even like woke up, like they heard this too. So I'm like, what the heck? As I'm awake, sitting up in bed being like, I'm just crazy. I literally was dreaming. Like the dogs probably just woke up because I woke up. I hear a woman's voice, clear as day, so loud in the bedroom with us, like in the house is what it sounded like saying something about like, it's okay, sweetie, or like, I love you, sweetie. I can't remember. All I remember is like the sweetie part, and it sounded like a mother like nurturing her child. I hear this woman's voice. I like, as I'm awake, the dogs hear it. They start barking. Like we all hear it at the same time. I'm like, what the heck? I literally am like trying to wake him up. He does not want to wake up. He like never wants to wake up. So I'm literally like, what the hell did I just hear? I'm thinking my mom like walked through the house because she knew our door code. And I'm like, what the hell is she doing here? I like rise out of bed. I'm like, Mom, like, cause I'm like, what are you doing here? I like go into the living room, go to the front door. No one is there. No one is there in the house. I also realized what time it is, and I'm like, what the heck? No one outside, nothing. So like, I still to this day do not know what that voice was, but just to go back to the story, like my ex, when he was young, his mother did pass away. And like a part of me believes that maybe it was his mother coming to see him, coming to visit him and check on him. I'm not 100% sure, but still to this day, it like haunts me to my core because it was the creepiest thing. But again, we're still not done with the story. So during this time, I'm just like hearing voices. I'm seeing orbs. I'm like having weird dreams. Also, like, I just want to point out the fact that I was alone a lot because my ex had a job where he would work nights. So I was like alone a lot of the time at the house, and I would hear stuff. And then even when I would try to tell him, like, he just wouldn't believe me because he's just like doesn't believe in that stuff. But he's not the one experiencing it. Like, I'm seeing it, I'm hearing it. It's very like spooky to me, very unsettling. The story's not over though yet. Okay, so one day I'm at work, and like during this time I had been like talking to some of my coworkers and telling them what I've been experiencing because like it literally was freaking me out. Like, it was literally freaking me out. I was like having issues. So I'm at work one day. I'm literally feeling this like burning sensation in my ankle. like a burning sensation. I'm just kind of like, what is that? And it like literally was burning. It was itching. I literally was like itching my like ankle. I'm like, what is that? Like, but I literally couldn't like itch it that much because I'm just like, I'm like working on clients. Like I'm a hairstylist. I'm working with color. So I had gloves on, but like my ankle was like literally irritating me. So finally I'm like looking at my coworker. I'm like, oh my God, like my ankle is like burning so bad. Like what the heck? I'm like pulling up my pant leg to like look at it. And I just want to say a part of the story that like at the time I was literally wearing capri like pants. So like they were not on my ankle, and I was wearing like a slide type of platform shoe. So like nothing was on my ankle at the time. Okay. So I go to like pull up my like pants because I'm like, what is going on? Like my ankle is burning. And what I saw still shocks me to my core today because it literally creeps me out. And it literally creeps out my coworker. I'm going to show you guys. Hold on. Y'all, this was literally on my ankle. Like this right here. Like you could not tell me that does not like look like a D and that does not look like a J. Like also like what is that up there? Like my coworker, like whenever we like saw this, he literally was like creeped out. I was creeped out. I was about to cry because I was like, what the heck is that? Like I'd never, and it was like burning. And I remember my coworker vividly goes like, did someone curse you? Like, did like someone like put a hex on you? And I'm not kidding. Like that like scared me to my core. And I'm like, I don't even like know how this even like would have been imprinted on my ankle. Like there's no way at all that this could have just like ended up on my ankle. I remember I was so creeped out by this that I literally talked to my dad about it. And my dad, like he's Arab, and he literally was like that looks like Hebrew. So he like made me send it to my uncle he agreed that this looks like Hebrew. I don't know what this is. So if anybody knows what this is, like please explain it to me because like this just creeps me out. Like what is it?
Can we show them the older homestead?
Yeah, let's go. As you know.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Was that you?
Yeah, that's on either side.
It went to both.
Yeah.
Let's read some scary stories that were DM'd to me. I have had so many amazing stories DM'd to me. So I'm going to try to like combine a few into each video. That way I don't have to make like 97 videos. I hope that's okay with y'all. Let me know if it's not though, and we'll figure something out. So here's the first story. One night, some years ago, I was half asleep in my bed, and I swear on everything, I felt something grab my ear and try to pull me under my bed. Of course, I shot up and stood there panicking for probably an hour or so until my mom came up and told me to go to bed. I threw the pillow my head was on across the room and wasn't bothered for a while until another night I was laying down and heard creepy music like one from a child's toy coming from downstairs. And mind you, all of my baby brother's toys were upstairs at the time and none of them played that song. I told my sister about it and she said she heard the same thing but a few months before. More recently, this year, I had a headache and went for a nap and I heard a very scary raspy man's voice say, "Don't." Of course, I got up and looked around before dismissing it, but then I heard the same voice again yelling, "Stop." I got up and I've experienced more things like this, but more like incoherent whispering and giggles from groups of people and little girls. I think this may have been a mimic. Sometimes I see my parents or siblings walk into one room and come out another way. I'm currently in the process of moving, so I hope it doesn't follow us. That is freaking terrifying, especially like hearing the music. And definitely keep me updated and let me know if any weird stuff happens at your new house. And I hope that thing doesn't follow you. Okay, moving on to the next story. I live in a neighborhood and I met my best friend here. In the back of our neighborhood, we used to have a field. Everything was normal. It was a normal neighborhood with a bunch of kids, etc. Eventually, workers started to cut down the field to build houses. After they did that, the creepiest things have happened. Me and my friend were sitting outside talking about how weird we think this whole situation is. We heard what sounded almost like a shh noise with a screech tone to it. The next night, we were sitting in my room and we were watching TikTok, and my friend comes along a video with the creepy audio. She turned off her phone after seeing that and it stopped playing, but then it randomly continued. After that, we wanted to find out what this thing is. So we started saying what we thought it communicates through. We were trying to think if it communicates through electricity, and a couple of seconds after that, my lamp flickered. Creepy, but also kind of cool. I would try to maybe talk to whatever that thing is. I don't know, maybe make friends with it so it doesn't do anything super creepy. Okay, next story. This one was sent by another Maddie. For context, my dad, Peter, passed away when I was 17. Causes unknown, but he was never healthy. He was 44 years old. My entire childhood was him sick. He had cancer, heart surgery, and many other issues. So let's take it back to last Halloween. Me, my mom, and a family friend were doing our yearly tradition of going to Halloween houses here in Staten Island. We went to look at houses for an hour or two and decided to go driving along this haunted road. The story goes, if you drive with your headlights on down this road, you'll see someone hanging from a tree. We were talking about my dad, just remembering him having emotional conversations. Keep in mind his name was not mentioned. Now, I had my Spirit Box app on my phone open, like one of the dictionary ones. It's saying random words, then all of a sudden it pops up. Peter. I literally felt chills down my entire body. I always feel like I see signs from my dad everywhere, but this was the most obvious one. At least that one is a little sweet, and she got a message from her dad. Let's back it on up to that story, though, in Staten Island, where you drive down a road with your headlights on and you'll see someone hanging from a tree. I need more information on this. Thank you everyone for sending me your stories. Once again, I'm home alone and really creeped out.
Okay, you guys, the craziest shit happened to me today when I was getting my hair done. So I get my hair done at my cousin's shop. It's a little shop with just her and her friend. On Tuesdays, Sarah's not there. So it was just me and Amy. We're sitting in there. She's putting color in my hair. And all of a sudden, this guy comes to the door. Well, her shop's by appointment only, okay? So looks normal enough. So he's got like 3 like styrofoam, plastic, I don't know, foam coffee cups in his hand. And I was like, that's weird. And she's like, what the fuck? And so she like waves him in, probably mistake number 1. Waves him in and he's like just standing there, and she's like, can I help you? And he said, well, I need a haircut. And she's like, oh, do you have an appointment? And he said, no. She's like, well, it's by appointment only. It's just me and another person here. And so he's like, oh, can I get your card? And so Amy was going to get your card. And he's like, or I can just wait. And I said, no, she's booked today. Because I immediately got like, okay, something's freaking fishy, right? So then he like sets his coffee cups down on the table. And he's like, I need to use your bathroom. I have to go pee-pee. A grown man said, I have to go pee-pee. And I'm like, there's something really off about this dude, right? So he walks past us, knows right where the bathroom is, which is strange because it's a private bathroom. Like, it's not like a public restroom. Walks back, opens the door, doesn't even shut the door all the way, goes in there. We can hear him like mumbling and talking to himself, but he's not going to the bathroom. Like, you can hear through the door, and he's not going to the bathroom. So then he walks out of there, and he has a candle lighter and a bottle of shampoo in his hand. And he says to us, I didn't steal this. I brought this in. It was in my pants, yada, yada, yada. Well, when he opens the door, he like throws the bathroom door open, like almost right into me. And I'm like, so many parts of me were just going to kick the door back shut on him to like get him out. It was I was scared. Okay, so I pick up my phone and I text Amy and I hold it up because she's standing behind me, and I said, should we call 911? And she just says, not yet. So I start texting Casey. I'm like, there's this weird guy in here. Like, something's not fucking right. In the meantime, I'm looking around like, where can I find a WEAPON? Okay, like what, in case this guy comes at us, right? Don't know what else he has in his pockets. Don't know if he has a weapon. So we go, I'm like looking at the hairspray. I'm like, God, where's her scissors? Where's her shears? So I'm like freaking the fuck out, right? And Amy's so calm. She's like talking to him, and he's like, are we in Fremont or are we in Omaha? And she's like, we're in Fremont. And then he's like, I heard there's a lot of jailbirds around here. And then I immediately am like, shit, did this guy just get out of jail? Like, what the hell's going on? He's behind me because Amy's doing my hair from back here. The bathroom door is in front of me. The front door to the entrance is back here. And I'm like freaking out. And then he's like, I just need to sit down for a minute. I gotta fix my chain. So he's like sitting there, and I mean, my heart's fucking pounding. And then he's like, oh, you have your hands full, but can she help me? Talking about me to help him undo his chain. And she's like, nope, we can't do that. So then he's like, okay. And he asked about a bar, and Amy was telling him about some bar down the street. And he's like, yeah, I think I'll stay here for a couple minutes, but then I'm going to go. So I'm like, God, please just fucking leave. And then he's like, can I leave you a souvenir? And he walks around to the front of me. My purse is sitting here. My car keys are sitting there. Amy's phone's sitting there. And he sets a K-cup, like a coffee, like that you put in like a Keurig, a K-cup, off-brand K-cup, and said, I want to leave you this souvenir. It's the best coffee ever. We're like, okay, like just trying to appease him because we have no freaking clue what is happening at this point. So then he's like, okay, I'm going to head down to Doe's or some bar, whatever. And we're like, okay, bye. So as he walks out of the front door, he cuts the lights in the salon. And I'm thinking, this is where it ends. I'm going to die today. And then he shuts the door. Amy like drops the color bowl, immediately runs over, locks the door, turns the lights back on. All of a sudden we see a cop walk by. So we like open the door and we're like, hey, like there's this weird guy that came in. Amy thinks, so there was an air freshener in the bathroom, and it's normally sitting like on next to the toilet, but it was on the dresser where she has like all of her color and stuff. And she's like, would he have maybe been like sniffing that? I was like, maybe, because he didn't go to the bathroom. He was talking to himself, but he had the air freshener out. And the whole freaking bathroom and salon smelled like apple, cinnamon, spice, something air freshener. So anyways, we tell the cop, and he's like, yeah, I think that's who I'm looking for. So I'm assuming other people on the strip were calling him in because he was probably going in there. Well, before he leaves, he's like, I'm just traveling in sections because it's cold out. We're like, okay. So then lock the door. The cop says, just keep the door locked, whatever. Well, then the cop comes back and knocks on the door, and he said that he found the guy, and apparently he's leaving town, whatever. But I don't know how he's getting anywhere. But the dude was tweaked. So here's the question. Can you get high off of air freshener? Is that what he was doing? I'm so confused, but I literally thought I was going to die today. Like, I would be a millionaire if I could make a very short film out of all of the things that were going on in my brain during that interaction. Like, holy shit. It was so scary, so creepy. And then we walked out of the salon together because she wasn't fully booked. She had a break, and I'm like, watch this guy come back. So that was our very eventful Tuesday afternoon. And now Amy is going to get pepper spray for the salon, and she's going to keep the doors locked while she is there by herself. Or always. Because again, it's by appointment only. Nobody walks into that salon. So, creepy, scary, holy shit. But I had to have a story time and tell you guys about my experience at the hair salon today. Okay, love you, bye.
What the fuck was that? Bro!
What's going on around you?
I don't know. I'm frozen. I am frozen.
Did the window
Sean.
break?
So bí woman wèrè yẹn ṣe mú ọmọ yẹn lọ síbi abẹ́ igi kan tó dákẹ́ rọ́rọ́rọ́ láàárọ̀ ọjọ́ yẹn láti ṣàlàyé bọ́rọ̀ náà ṣe jẹ́ láti pìlẹ̀ fún dáadáa. Olúwakẹ́mi mi. Mo pàdé bàbá rẹ̀ Bọ́lájí ní some years back nígbà tó fi ń ṣiṣẹ́ lábẹ́ ọ̀gá kan tí ń ta provision tiẹ̀. Tí mo sì jẹ́ bí ọmọ 20 years old lásìkò tá à ń sọ yìí. Lọ́jọ́ ọjọ́ kan ni mo lọ ra foodstuff ní ṣọ́ọ̀bù rẹ̀ tó ti ń ṣiṣẹ́. Ó sì fún mi ní gbogbo ohun tí mo lọ rà pátápátá tí mo sì sanwó mi pé. Ṣùgbọ́n bí mo ṣe ní kí n máa lọ ló pè mí padà pé ṣé mo lè fóun ní nọ́mbà mi pé òun máa dùn gidi gan tá a bá lè jọjọ́ rẹ̀. Níṣe ni mo wojú ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ìyàlẹ́nu, ṣùgbọ́n kọ́ mọ́ bá dàbí pé mo wà áàṣì ló jẹ́ kí n fún ní nọ́mbà mi lọ́jọ́ yẹn. From there aṣáájọ́ ń sọ̀rọ̀ abèrè fámílì ara wa àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Dóò ìyá mi àti bàbá mi sì ń bẹ láyé lásìkò tí mò ń sọ yìí. Ṣùgbọ́n bàbá tiẹ̀ ti kú tí ìyá rẹ̀ sì ń bẹ láyé lásìkò yẹn. Kò lẹ́yìn ọ̀rẹ́yìn ló sásọ pé òun fẹ́ fẹ́ mi sílé gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìyàwó pé kí n jẹ́ ìyá fáwọn ọmọ òun. Inú mi dùn gidi gan lọ́jọ́ náà torí pé mi gan ti yóò fẹ́ gidi gan pẹ̀lú rẹ̀. Inú mi dùn gidi gan lọ́jọ́ yẹn débi wípé bí wọ́n bá gẹṣin nínú mi wọn ò ní kọsẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n mo fi ọ̀rọ̀ yìí pamọ́ fáwọn òbí mi tí ìfẹ́ sọ fún wọn torí mo mọ̀ dájúdájú pé wọn ò ní gbà kí n fẹ́ láyéláyé. Tó owó sádálé ọjọ́ kan tí mo lọ sọ́dọ̀ rẹ̀ ló bá mi sùn tó jàbálẹ̀ mi. Kò pẹ́ sígbà yẹn tí mo lóyún fún bàbá rẹ̀ tá à ń sọ yìí. Àtọ̀ ọba mọ bínú mi ṣe dùn tó lọ́jọ́ yẹn pé mi náà di ìyá fáwọn ọmọ rẹ̀. Láì mọ̀ pé gbogbo oṣù tí mo fi ru oyún sínú òun àtobìnrin míì jọ ń ríra wọn. Tó mi ò láǹfààní àti lọ sílé ìwé gíga nígbà yẹn kódà bàbá rẹ̀ gangan ò lọ. Ṣùgbọ́n arábìnrin tí bàbá rẹ̀ ń fẹ́ lẹ́yìn mi yìí lọ sí yunifásítì ń tiẹ̀. And currently ó wà lọ́fíìsì ńlá kan tó ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ kódà ọmọ tí wọ́n bí sínú ọlá ni. Fisáyọ̀ ni orúkọ obìnrin tí mò ń sọ yìí. Òun ló fèsì bàbá rẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ kan pé òun nífẹ̀ẹ́ rẹ̀ pé òun sì fẹ́ fẹ́. Tó bá sì lè gbà láti fi òun sílé gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìyàwó gbogbo ọlá àtọlà òun máa jẹ́ tiẹ̀. Kódà àwọn òbí arábìnrin yẹn fẹnu sí pé bẹ́ẹ̀ gẹ́lẹ́ ló ṣe máa rí. Mọ́ kọ̀ǹdíṣàn ẹyọ kan tí wọ́n sọ fún Bọ́lájí ni wípé Fisáyọ̀ ò lè bímọ kankan láyé o. Àwọn dẹ̀ mọ̀ dáadáa pé kò sọ́kùnrin kankan tí ó fẹ́ fẹ́ sílé gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìyàwó. Làwọn fi padà pinnu láti ṣètù fún tálíkà arú rẹ̀. Wọ́n sì tún ní kò sí wàhálà ń bẹ náà ṣebí káwọn adopt ọmọ ni. Kí nìyí tí Bọ́lájí fi ní audacity láti sọ fún Fisáyọ̀ pé mo ti lóyún sínú. Ó dẹ̀ tún sọ fún pé ní kété tí n bá ti bímọ tán báyìí àwọn máa já ọmọ yẹn gbà lọ́wọ́ mi ni táwọn ó sì lé mi jáde. Kódà tó bá ṣeé ṣe gan àwọn lè pa mí káṣírí ọmọ bá lè tú. Bí bàbá rẹ̀ ṣe gbèrò gbìmọ̀ lẹ́yìn mi tí ò sọ nǹkan kan fún mi jẹ́ nǹkan tó bà mí nú jẹ́ púpọ̀. Torí mo ti finú wénú rẹ̀ ló jẹ́ ń jẹ́wọ́. Tó nígbà tó padà yá làwọn òbí mi ṣaláìsí lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí wọ́n gbọ́ pé mo ti lóyún sínú. Torí pé wọ́n jẹ́ olùṣèparapo èmi sì nìkan ni ọmọ tí wọ́n bí. Tó nígbà tó wá di ọjọ́ tí mo fẹ́ bímọ gangan.